we were just about to unravel events.
Events.
Event 101. What was it I was going to say about events?
I think we're on the topic of... It started with Kqingz post about 3 events in one day.
Yeah.
But then it kind of was a positive thing because he
Yes.
put that on spotlight for maybe between Ruben and Miyaka to communicate.
Yes.
Time sets or set times, whatever. And then allowed all all the events to sort of run cohesively, if that makes sense. Hey, buddy.
But you were talking about, you were just about to talk, you started talking about like the logistics and, have an after party.
Yeah.
And I was about to go, let's open up that can of worms.
See, it's funny because like after parties, right?
I'm recording.
It's a struggle. Because like, one, as an organizer, you're drained.
Mm-hmm.
Having an after party works because it's like, it makes sense, right?
Yeah, it's like a
Celebration of what's to end, but then at the same time, sometimes having an after party is also a drainer as well.
Yeah, you
like Cross Styles, we didn't have an after party because we had to make sure our guests were eating because they were probably hungry after the event.
Glad you brought that up.
Yeah, because it's always good to have food.
That's exactly it.
But the other time that we had an after party, I think it's more maybe House to Feels has like that after party feel because I think maybe the way Miyaka organizes it is it's purely about the showcase, less about the battling, or the after party happens at the same venue. Where most places I know, after parties happen at a different venue. Yeah. Like Neighborhood Funk, that was sick. They had like, I remember that battle where between, after that it was like Vlad and Kimpachi. They battled, and then after that they had Axe, they had 3K, and man, they had, I think it was like when their single came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like something dogs or, I remember it was like one of the lyrics was dogs or some shit. I don't know, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Like, who? I remember they just shouted that shit. But it was such a lit set. And I remember like just staying there, I'm like, fuck, this is mad, like having these acts. And that was the shit that I loved about Montanasa's event, is that not only was it focused on the battles, it brought in artists, local artists that really knew how to turn up the party. And then now I think what I like, and I guess maybe because Ruben's, either been married or he's been away for a while, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think the other events that I go to that is sick, purely just for the party side, is House to Feels.
Yeah.
Like, Miyaka does a great job of bringing DJs that know how to fucking do a party. Chris NG. He's one that when he's on, it's going to be on.
It's going to be lit.
Yeah. But it's that awareness of having those DJs. Like, I wish I was there on Saturday to fucking see your set. Freaking, James and Kqingz set.
Man, I was really honored to be invited to do a set for House of the Fields. The thing is,
was that your first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Hey,
because I'm not a house DJ. I fucks with house because that was our generation. A lot of b-boys in our time were getting into house as well. So the reason why Fresh Socks has a certain style was a lot of us did muck around with house for a bit.
Oh, okay, man.
But real basic house when you couldn't get basic house steps.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you brought up a lot of good things, man. And I think I'm going to turn this whole thing into a bit of a 101 on events, so that people who don't organize events and might get up in fucking cancel culture and get on the comments and talk bullshit about like events can at least have a better idea of what it takes and the etiquette required to run a proper event before they start mouthing their bullshit off because they got voted out or because no one catered for whatever whim that they.
Speaking of which, though,
yeah,
that you mentioned that with people who actually are interested in doing events but then don't know how, just ask.
Exactly.
Like for our event, not many people know this. We had a volunteer. Like she was I got past Alex Gardner. You know her?
I don't know her.
She's a contemporary dancer, I think. I don't know her style, but Alex, she hit me up. I was like, hey, I have a volunteer for you guys, perhaps. And I was like, cool, like, why?
Yeah.
I'm like, we're usually okay. We have our helpers. And she's like, oh, look, she's studying, I think, event organization from memory.
Nice.
And she dances for B Code. Like B Code now. But she's only into choreo, but she wants to organize a freestyle battle. And I was like, you already know, you're like, fuck, you're kind of like already going to be asking for it if you're not from the scene.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, so she wants to volunteer for experience and to know what goes on. And I said, That's very sensible. Rather than just organize an event because you think you know, but to actually be like, I don't know.
Yep.
I will free up my own time to volunteer and help you guys set up so
Yeah.
I know what goes on. So I'm like, cool.
Exactly.
So she passed it on to me. I chatted to her, say, hey, like, what's, why are you doing it? Because I don't want to be like, yeah, you help us out, but then you're just going to be like, shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, she helped us out on the day. I told her exactly what goes on. Like, this is the preparation we needed. She's like, how long did it take? Cross tiles, I guess, given the size of the event.
Yeah.
You're right, bro?
Yeah, she's our security guard.
Yeah.
Sorry for the interruption.
No, you're right.
That's
So,
right.
cross tiles took 10 months to organize. 10 months doesn't seem like a long time. Sorry, seems like a long time. It isn't.
No.
Once 10 months is on, like, your countdown is like, bang. Like, all of a sudden, you're fucking a month away. You're like,
Yep.
fuck, it's in a month, So,
Yep.
shit like that, for our volunteer, she absorbs so much knowledge about what goes on in an event. So, it's funny that you talk about Event 101. If you want to organize an event, ask someone.
That's exactly
You
it.
have so many event organizers now. Like, I mean, mind you, and I think there's another can of worms we were talking about. Rewind maybe 2 years ago. The only battles that I remember being run at the time was Montanasa's events. And I don't think I know any other battle, apart from maybe B-boy battles.
Yeah.
But the only ones that I remember, because I guess I'm from a freestyle side,
Yeah.
is more the ones at Montanasa ran, the all-style battles, open styles.
Yes.
Those are the only ones that I remember going to. Majority of the time were run by Montanasa.
I must include, bro, All Styles is a blessing for organizers because that is more inclusive than any of the other genres.
That is true.
That
is true.
And that makes, bro, I'd already seen it when it was happening because I'd seen it in other countries, but All Styles I could see was what was going to bring the people in
Together.
And man, when City Sessions was running,
yeah,
from like
true.
maybe 2012,
11, 10 back then,
yeah, like that was when like the biggest events were all style events here, Fed Square, Melbourne Central, like those are hard places to get into, like, but they did it.
Yeah, especially the Fed Square one.
Yeah.
Funny enough, me and David first battled together at the Fed Square City Sessions.
Oh, there we go.
That was our first battle we entered. Fuck, we got fucking smoked by Flyboy and fucking Joey. I remember that. But that was sick because like that was my our first taste of a battle.
Yeah, that's a punch in the guts, that one, and that made you guys good. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I quit for 3 years, but yeah. Then I came back,
Yeah, but at least you came back. It's everyone gets knocked down. It's about how you get up.
Yeah.
And that's
what a rocky guy.
That's bro. That is exactly the resilience. That isn't required.
But you're right. Like I think the pinnacle time back then was City Sessions.
Yeah.
During the open styles, even what you did, bro. With what was it called again?
Which one?
Burn Circuit.
Yeah,
like when that had its first stint as well.
Yeah.
So that was sick. But I think like back in 2016, I remember when I first came back into freestyle, or started freestyle, I should say properly. The only events that was running was Montanasa's one.
Yeah.
So you have like, the one that Josh Kun took out.
Yep.
Fuck, who was judging? I think it was Dre, Kian, and fuck, there's some. Daisuke from Sydney came down.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that
Were
one.
you DJing?
I was DJing
You
the
were
breaking
DJing.
that time.
Yeah, you were.
In the side, in the flour mill.
Yes, and then
Yeah.
there's the breaking side too.
Yeah.
Was that not Space Jam, was it?
Yeah, I can't remember the.
I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah. They've got a few flagships, Montanasa.
Right. So
Yeah.
that was when I feel Montanasa was kicking off.
Yeah.
Now, I remember every event I used to go to was run by Ruben, and that was sick because he used to be able to bring at least music side with his connections and also the dance side with his connections, and he had the venue for it.
Yeah.
Like where Albion Station was, it's close to a station.
Yeah.
Freaking, parking is free. Fuck,
Yeah.
man, you don't know how parking's so essential, right? Shit like that, like you have to pay.
I had to pay. Yeah.
But so he had parking, had the venue.
Yeah.
So he was able to host these great events all the time. And then, mind you, like maybe I'm wrong or ignorant to say this, but then when he got busy, he got married, did his thing, that's when he stepped away from the event scene.
Yeah.
You saw his events disappear.
Yeah.
Which is fine. You get busy and that
Yeah.
shit happens. Life gets in the way.
Yeah.
So then to step up, dancers themselves started organizing
Yes.
events. But that's because everyone in the dancing stepped up in their own art form.
Yes.
So, for example, a good example is Gian started DJing.
Yes.
Now he's DJing on the regular.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then people like, let's say, Sister Sessions.
Yes.
You know, Mani, Mel, you know, that group, you know, they organize an all-female battle. They brought out all these females I've never seen before.
Yep.
All these new gens. You know, even old gen. Like, they brought back, like, Demi.
Yep.
All these old...
Melody.
Melody as well. So
Yeah.
all these people that I remember seeing back when I first started to even people I've never seen before.
Yes.
And then Cross Stars came through. We did our event too. Vlad with Battle Royale last year.
Yep.
And it's all events run by dancers because I know what dancers want.
Yes.
So-
Fubu, bro. Fubu. For us, by us.
Yeah, for us, by us.
Yeah.
So that's why now when I think about it, it's like events come and go, but they're always going to get better because the people organizing it know what the community wants. But that's
it.
because they're involved in the community, not those who are disconnected.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
That's exactly it.
So if you're talking about Event 101, like having that strong sense of community or being involved in an event, like support your events. I mean, I'm guilty of this, man. Like I don't go to certain events too because I'm either lazy, got work, shit like that.
Yeah.
But I'm still, I guess, involved in some way because of Jam on Toast
That's it.
or other shit that I'm involved with. And
That's
that
it.
at least helps me understand, okay, if I do an event, at least I know Miyaka has her event this day.
That's
or no, Ruben has his event here.
That's it.
You know, shit like that, just being aware, but then also talking to the right people.
Yeah.
Like, for example, having the right DJ, like Naru, Gian,
Yes.
yourself, I know Tofu DJs as well, like
Yeah.
just things like that. Like, that helps you make a better event. Yeah.
That's exactly it, bro. It's exactly
But man, like, it's so much goes into it, eh? Like,
so much, man. There's so much, and really, you know, I think this especially this edition of us, chopping things up like this, bro, is like maybe for the record, we should just state things like this, just so that whoever is in passing listening to this, you know, have some notes to take down. You know, and then if they ever consider it, they can consider it because there's also the issue of this generation where things are too extra, yeah. And then dudes think they have to drop fucking 10K for an event. It's like, bro, relax, man. Like, you can do an event free in this garage. I do it every week, you know. Like, I've got all the gear. That's where most of my money went. But then, you know, I could run a mini comp in here if I really wanted to.
You could.
Because of the understanding of doing events, you know. The biggest event that I was able to do through an organization, we got 3,000 people at Fed Square.
fuck, it's crazy.
You know, but the money came from getting grants and
yeah.
you know, and then having a special like not account but an allowance from an in-kind allowance from Fed Square because they were trying to get more traffic there.
Traffic through, yeah.
You know, this was like 2005, 6, 7, 8. You know, those
Back then,
early days when everyone hated Fed Square still.
Because it was like nothing goes on there.
Nothing goes on there, and it just looked like a weird piece of architecture.
Yeah.
Now it's normal.
No,
you know,
because
what I
you
mean?
kind of desensitized.
Desensitized.
Like, oh, yeah,
it's,
whatever.
It's
It's
become
there.
normal. Yeah. And this is the thing, right? Like maybe we can just sort of jump around here. It's no specific order. Because you touched on a lot of good points there, you know.
Yeah.
But really knowing your community, really knowing what's needed, and not just like just thinking you know, and not having any validation, verification. You just jumping into it blindly. I mean, it's one way to do things, but you'll soon see you're gonna burn yourself and burn others, and then you may never be able to return. First impressions do last.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's why Cross Styles is where it's at. Battle Royale is coming back, and I can already tell people are excited for it because fuck, you judged it, I battled in it. You knocked me out, by the way. Fuck you. But
I did not.
yeah, you did.
Did I say
But I had a
Ollie?
whack round, but
Did I say Ollie?
yeah, you're like number something, 16 or whatever, and you're
But
like,
that doesn't necessarily mean it was me who voted you, bro.
no, it was.
No, I said it, but that wasn't because the three of us already know.
Oh yeah. Oh okay, so it's a 3. Okay, cool.
Yeah, the three of us already know. It's like, oh look, I've got two. Okay, well, which ones do we have in common? You know, and it's like, all right, then those are the 3.
Yeah. Okay. Cool,
You know
cool.
what I mean?
All right, all good. Yeah.
Because I had this chat with Becky actually.
Oh yeah.
I told Becky that I didn't vote her out.
Yeah.
You know, but like the other 2 did.
Okay.
So
cool.
poor Becky. You know.
Yeah. All right.
But
You're off the hook. All good. Still hate you, but. But Battle Royale was a good example
you,
because
man.
it was. Fucking, I'm still salty, eh? But that was one example because
Stop
it was
eating
such
fish sauce, man.
fucking fish sauce, marinated cunt. But that event itself was so unique. It wasn't like you do your prelim, you sit out, you wait, you 30 seconds. Nah, man, you got to keep doing round after round.
Round after round.
And then I remember by the time you get to the 6, if you're like down to the last 30 to 20 people, creatively, you're almost gassed because you're like, what the fuck do I do now? Like, I'm not doing 5 rounds, which is like prelim 16, 8, 4, and top 2, or maybe do 6 because you have 2 rounds.
It's not standard format.
You have to keep going each round. So that was sick because that event ran so unique, and it wasn't tournament style until the end.
That's it. Well, hey, let's talk about this. This is probably a bit more of an intrinsic quality that a event organizer needs to have, but also it spreads right across the spectrum into how a dancer or dancers can create a culture because of an event like that.
Yeah.
This is now where, we know that Battle Royale 272 is coming out, is happening in 3 months. We already need to start practicing because we've already gone through cross styles or destructive steps. It's time to switch the format up, like in terms of training culture, Then dudes are like, right, well, we need to be able to go 15 to 20 rounds and bring something different each round. And it's like, all right, well, we've got a squad, we're all in the same crew and everyone's down for the cause, so the 10 of us will go and hotbox somewhere and just do 20 rounds each. So imagine there's 10 people in your crew, right? Fuck, that's 200 rounds you have to make individually. Imagine how strong that crew would be for Battle Royale.
That crew would be so cooked.
Bro. Overcooked. Infrared cooked because it's been hotboxed.
Bro.
You know, like those turbo machines? That you put roast in? It like the infrared gets right through the center and cooks it, and it's crispy on the outside. You know what I mean? That's the kind of cuisine you'd have to create.
But you're right. But that's training specifically for that
yeah,
type of battle,
but
which
then,
is crazy, yeah.
But then laterally thinking, yeah, the event organizer's like, all right, well, okay, let's say I've got two DJs, right? Or he's only got one. Let's say I got Gian, yeah. So Vlad's, I'm pretending I'm Vlad now.
Yeah.
Vlad's going, we got Gian, and you know Gian brings the hype, but Naru's really good too. Should I get Naru first or Gian, whatever, and build the vibe? And because you know, by volume 269, like you know, people know that both DJs really well. They know their catalog.
Yeah.
Right. And what's great about it is these DJs don't need to stop and start like in your standard battles. They just play through and they can set a tone for a period of time. That's why I made Bird Circuit the way it was.
Yeah.
Because as a DJ, because I've got a background in DJ, it's like, fuck, man, this song's like 10 minutes and I only played 1 minute of it. Yeah. And the rest of the song's still good, but no, it's already round 2.
Yeah. And you can't play it again. Yeah. Or like you can't play it in the whole event.
Yeah, then the DJ, and then the MC's like, okay, round 2, DJ, and then the dancers are already waiting for you. Like, they're looking, waiting for you. Next song.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck, you go through your whole catalog of music and you have to keep on having constant hype beats. You don't get to coast
the whole track.
You know, like imagine, you know, you're like, oh yeah, I'm feeling this song, and then fuck, it's not your round.
Bad, you know, that's so funny, right? I remember there's like times you sing on the side, like, fuck, I wish I had this track. And then you're about to go in the same track, and then Gein's like, waka waka waka, and you're like, no, oh no, why is it a disco track?
Right, this is what I mean.
Yeah.
So then imagine Vlad now thinking across the spectrum, right? He's like, I'll get Naru first because Naru has got this particular vibe, this particular sound. She'll get everyone revved up. Then when we feel that point where it looks like the dancers are getting exhausted, then we need to pump it with some, you know, fucking hectoids.
Coke.
Some heavy hectoids, and then so you bring in the hectoid master himself, Gian, you know? He's got so many hectoids in him, his like hair's gone frizzy now, you know? He's got afro, he's got you know, nappy roots hair now. It's like, that's like he's like a Blasian Super Saiyan. Instead of his hair going blonde, his hair went black and you know, Afro perm, you know.
Frizzy.
Yeah, sick dude. Yeah, that's for my Filipino brother right there.
It's a good point though.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that final 20 in Battle Royale, just like all of a sudden are ultra hype.
Yeah.
You know, not because Naru was whack, but it's because just human attention spans, you know, for an event like that, and the capacity required to like draw as much energy and inspiration from the music, the palette needs to be refreshed.
100%.
Then boom, Gian comes in and everyone's like, oh.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. It could be Gian first and then Naru comes in with the bombs.
That's why most events have 2 DJs, especially bigger ones anyway. Like
Yeah.
in the European scene, like Just Debut, Summer Dance, they have always 2 DJs on hand.
Yeah.
So it's like they switch in between each other.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because I know one thing I didn't like about Battle Royale was when you finish a round, you wait. But it's when they're waiting for the judge to eliminate people. That's the only time it stops. And then it
Yeah.
resets again. But that's fine because that's the format. But I think I was talking to Vlad about it. I was like, imagine if it just kept going.
Well, that's exactly right.
Yeah, so then that keeps going. So the dancers are always on their toes, not like, all right, I've done my round. There'll be a time when they'll just announce, I'll
Yeah.
just chill out. No. Like,
no.
imagine
Go,
if you're
go,
the whole
go,
time you're
go.
on like your toes. You
You're
know?
on your toes. That's it.
Yeah.
And then again, laterally thinking. Then the event organizers will then have to go, right, I need to have this system set in place so that we don't need a break, but we can't give the DJs a break unless, I mean, the judges a break unless
Yeah.
it's absolutely necessary,
like toilet
or else
break or some shit.
it's slave
Yeah.
slave labor, you know. Slave labor
just
does
shit your
happen.
pants, you know?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know. Or no, just shoot your pants in front of everyone, do your judges showcase with like Hershey stains, you know. But this is the thing, bro. This is the thing, yeah. This is the thing, right? This is the thing. It's like then his second in charge and then his volunteers, they can already be like tallying up the scores.
Yeah.
You know, to tell you who to eliminate. And then imagine just like randomly through the event, you're hyped, you think you're doing well, and then you just hear a man, and
Yeah,
then you see
your
your
name is
name
gone.
cross. It's like, oh,
I thought it was
I
hype.
thought I was doing well, you know. And that's why I made Burn Circuit.
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
wanted to make that system
That system,
transparent.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Fair
not saying that I share a system with Vlad.
Oh, hey,
you
mate.
know?
Jesus.
Yeah,
Jump up already.
Willow's like first is barking at you, now she loves you.
Yeah, mad.
Yeah, she's a mad bitch. But this is the thing, you know.
It's that constant, like, wanting to go. Like, keep going
yeah.
around. And it's, like, it's natural because I think the way everyone trains or shares is ciphering. So
Exactly.
you just go around. But when you go into battle, it's like, all right, I gotta wait.
Yeah.
Now it's my turn. Okay, I've done my 30 seconds.
Because
And I'm out. Cool.
Yeah.
That's my $20 done for the day, and I'm just gonna chill and watch. It's
yeah,
like,
that's it.
it happens, you know, when
Yeah.
you enter any battle. But
Yeah. No, this to that format, but this is the
But that's sort of
reality
how
it.
you feel. You're like, all right, I'm out. Now what?
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing.
If we want to talk about it in some kind of trippy way, right? When you're in a circle, energy is contained. But when you're in a battle on a stage, it's like a corridor. And at the end of the corridor is these dudes, your position.
Yeah.
To your left or right, depending which side you're
Judges.
standing, is the judges. And then to the other side is this audience. So you've got like these 4 walls that are constricting you, you know? Whereas in a circle, it's like this thing that's a lot more fluid.
Yeah.
You know? And if you do battle, it's going to be a different energy to the way, you know, a standard format battle is.
100%, yeah.
And this is why I think more dancers need to go out. Yeah, you're sure you have your preferences and shit, but in the end of the day, same as anything in the real world, you're required to be good at certain things, or multiple things, sorry. And, you know, like, if you can be that dude, then this is a way you can do it. It's not for everyone, but I think that's the advantage of this generation.
100%.
Because as soon as you start and decide, I'm going to just specialize in one thing, that's cool. I respect that. And I think it's a very noble thing to do. But then you're at a disadvantage if you go outside of your comfort zone.
100%.
You know?
But at the same time, you gain so much doing that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So it just depends, you know, like what's in context, how does it work for you, you know? You can't be saying, I want to take out Red Bull BC1 or Just a Boo if you're just always in a circle.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need to go and find the strongest opponent. You got to be in that setting where maybe the music's whack and the stage is way too big and the lights are in your eyes and you're not feeling it.
The floor's sticky.
Floors, yeah. You know what I
Yeah, all
mean?
that
That's
shit.
experience.
Yeah,
you know?
100%. But that's like, it's like also what you brought up about D-steps. It's like, you had like really strong dancers come down and that you had to battle that made you step up.
Yeah.
You know, like, mind you, our scene has a lot of strong dancers, you know.
We
like,
do.
We could name heaps and we could be here all day for it.
Right.
Fuck, your phone's on.
Now it turns
Now it
on.
turns on. So yeah, we have like a lot of strong dancers, but like we see them all the time. So the moment like someone comes down and you're like, fuck, this guy's like from Singapore, this guy's from Japan, this guy's from America. You're already like, and you get to battle them, like, it's an honor.
Exactly.
Like I remember when I went to KOD, we had to battle France. We had to battle Kefton, Diablo, Stella Muerte, and fuck, I can't remember who the other guy was. But being like, and we didn't have to battle them 1-on-1, but because you had to battle them, it pushed you because you're like, in your head, right? And I don't know if this is everyone, but for me, I'm like, I'm gonna lose anyway. because they're already good. But when I'm backed in that corner, if I say I'm going to lose anyway, I'm going to go down fucking guns blazing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be like, I don't give a fuck if this round is whack, but I'm just going to fucking raise hell from whatever I can pull out right in that instant. And those 2 rounds probably the last round that I did where I'm like, nah, I'm coming out for this guy. I still lost that battle with him, but that round was probably me when I was fired up. Purely because I was able to generate that, that nervousness of one. If you fuck up on that stage, fucking Stance was there.
Yeah.
Fucking all the cameras were there.
Yep.
The Chinese people were there.
Yep.
Everyone was there to see it on an international stage. And you've seen how savage the YouTube comments are.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, bro. So I don't want to be that guy.
Nice.
But at the same time, like, man, I don't give a fuck. When do you get a chance to battle these guys?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's when I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. We'll just go all out.
And that's grace, bro.
Yeah.
That's grace.
But then that's the same time when we got to battle you and Tofu.
Oh, bro.
Yeah. That one.
Now, that was not grace.
You were Grace, bro. You were latest.
Bro, I was latest, bro. That was like 6 beers in, you know, like body pains, not been training. I did a fire first round, and then the other 20 rounds after that were shit.
To be fair, it was only meant to be for 15 minutes, and we went for like half an hour.
Did we?
Bro, the footage that I screen grabbed from Harold's live stream was half an hour almost.
Oh, bro, that's all right.
Yeah, so it was at least 20 minutes, 25 minutes of battling.
Bro.
But it was crazy because, like, Tofu is someone that I remember growing up in the scene, seeing his shit. And I wasn't into, like, breaking at this time. But I was like, I remember seeing his shit. I'm like, that's fresh. But I didn't understand it. Until us now when I'm getting more into breaking, it's like, shit, I know what his footwork's like. I know what his top rock like.
Actually, come to think about it, he's also an event organizer.
Yeah, he did the one... Fuck, what was it? It was the one down at the record store in Flinders. Underground.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did that one. Fuck, I jumped in for that event too.
Dope.
It was mad. Like, it was like how it was run, like cardboard flooring, like that old school kind of vibe with like projector at the back. Like, it was sick.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
man.
like event organizers again, right?
Yeah.
But battling you guys was like, one is like you're not battling these days anyway. You're just mainly like DJing, or like if you are, you're showcasing or judging, right?
Yeah.
So, and plus Tofu, I'll probably never see him in a battle unless he enters an All Stars battle.
Yeah.
Like, I don't enter breaking battles because I don't have time. Or, like, I don't enter the same events that he does. So, to battle him and to battle you, it was like, fuck, we need to step up. You know, we don't want to get roasted. So, that's why even we're like, all right, we need to fucking train for this shit.
I wish I had the same mentality, hey. You know, I went to Tofu's house to train once, and David from Flying Arts, you know, Flying Art Films, he went and filmed that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and
the one where I commented trash and shit.
Yeah, that was sick, bro. And you should have seen, bro, from my end. It's like, who the fuck's this little cunt, man? It's like these OGs are getting fired.
Right?
Like,
I remember you told me, right? Yeah. People were like, who the fuck is this Oliver guy?
Yeah.
People on my side, you can get fucked up. And I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. And then you were telling me, like, man, people hitting me out, who's this guy? I'm like, wow, okay, I see how it is.
Bro, and you know, like, even in other industries, like the rap ones.
Oh, yeah.
This shit happens. Sometimes it's like this so-called beef that happens, you know what I mean? Like, but then there's some dudes who take it to the next level and it's actually real, you know?
Yeah.
But
that's funny, though. Like, I get it, though, why they'd be mad. They're like, fuck, like, who's this random-ass guy?
Yeah.
But you know what's funny, right?
Yeah.
My mate, he's not even a dancer. He came to watch, to the block party. He's the guy that designed our German Toast logo.
Ah.
He got hyped from the fake beef. Because he was like, this is funny. He knew it was funny. But, like, other people obviously didn't. But they're like, fuck, like, this is...
It's a necessary evil,
thing, yeah.
And
Like, it's like what Conor McGregor does.
Exactly.
Obviously not on his level. Like,
Yeah.
well, this, you know, you and your family, your religion and fucking everything. But, like,
He
it's
got
like...
his head kicked in.
Fuck, but...
Fuck.
But it's like that, right? It creates that hype. Yeah. I think that's why that battle leading up to it, like, I remember I'm like, fuck, like, we're battling today. It would be sick. And I remember when we walked in that room.
Ooh, yeah.
So enclosed, right?
Yeah.
I would have loved it for it to be outside, but
Yeah.
having that inside that room, that was sick.
The
energy
it was
in
so
there.
tight, you know?
But what made it crazy, right, was when Poyo jumped in.
When everyone else jumped in
Bro,
afterwards.
squad up.
Squad
Poyo
up.
jumped in. Like, I remember when...
See.
I remember this exact moment. Like, it was like my round. It was like the last round. And then Tofu comes up to me and he does like something. I think he says something. I don't know what he said. But he got in my face. I nudged him.
Yeah.
It was like the pussy-assest push that I've ever done. But I was like so fucking wrecked. And then as soon as I did that, I remember seeing Chino stand up.
Yep.
And I think Poyo was stood up. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, fuck. Now I'm battling the crew.
Yeah, but lucky you had your boys there too.
Yeah, luckily. Yeah. Like, it was cool though, because then when Poyo jumped in, I was like, fuck, this is going off right now.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, fuck, I'm too drained. I don't know if I can throw another round.
Yo,
And then
bro.
Vlad jumps in. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Josh jumps in.
Yeah.
Then fuck, everyone just jumps in, eh?
And again, lateral thinking, right? Imagine then David, as the organizer, cleverly be like, right, next time we'll get these two versus these two, and then hopefully they bring their squads. Then we'll go for 15 minutes. 15 minutes. But it'll go half an hour.
Yeah.
To the point of exhaustion. Because this is what entertainment is.
Yeah.
You know, this is what gladiator fights are. You know?
Yeah.
And
You're
then
pitting the people you want to see battle each other.
Battle each
I
other.
think that's the beauty of it, because realistically, you would never, ever,
you'll probably never cross paths or reach
between
in the
us,
same.
like me and David versus you and Tofu, it's like probably never going to happen ever again.
Yeah, it was actually a dream fight.
Yeah. It's like, if you want, like, who's like popping off now because of, I guess, time wise, Jam and Toast. We're good friends with David. Cool. You and you and Tofu, because you guys are pretty much like, you know, in the older scene, but you guys are still holding it down. Fuck, let's see them throw down.
Oh
Yeah, you know. And then now it's like, if they do another block party or like another exhibition battle, it's like, fuck, you can do style versus style, fucking like so many possibilities.
right.
You know.
But just
And
imagine
that's entertainment alone.
That's
yeah.
entertainment alone. But just, you know, to finish up that the thing was, then David goes, then when these dudes are exhausted, then these other dudes will jump in, and then it's gonna be a crew battle. Then that'll go for 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
But that'll
yeah.
go for another half hour.
Yeah.
You know, to the point where it gets real hype. You know, and that's why there's fixed matches. That's
Right.
why there's all these certain things that go down, because that scale that grows to a different scale.
100%.
That's
bro.
my logic.
No, that's true.
That's my rationale behind why things happen. But then, so if communications are open, you know, and if people know how to play a game, then it becomes a cultural thing. You know, it's like, right, okay, so hey, you know, like this time it's Ollie and Lama are battling.
I said Nonoi and like fucking-
Nonoi and whoever else.
Yeah.
So fuck, all of K-Star are there. Yeah,
and all the Lost
then
and Found,
then
you know.
mute. Yeah, and then you know, for us, you know, it's like JOT, like everyone's there. And then imagine it's like the whole block party starts battling each other.
Feels like a block battle, bro.
And then, yo, peace and love, yo,
Yeah,
you
at
know,
the end
but
of
everyone's roasting each other. you know?
Bro, that's nuts, bro. But like, it's shit like that. That's it'd be sick, because
Yeah.
I mean, I remember after the battle, like, you were just chilling outside. You remember like how me and Nono were just kind of going rounds.
Bro,
for
that
fun.
was sick. I'm glad I saw
Yeah,
that.
that was like random as, and it was like short, but like we were actually throwing down rounds for a second.
Yeah.
And then after that, you know, we just hug it out, all that whatever jazz. And I remember talking to him, I'm like, bro, like, be mad to actually either battle against you again or battle with you. Because I feel like that kid's also got it. Him and
He
his
does.
crew.
He does.
So
They
if honestly there was another exhibition battle, I'd want to see Nonoi or his crew go up against like another crew on that kind of level. You know what I mean? That'll be mad.
It needs to happen. In fact, yeah, if anyone's listening, do something about it. Hey.
But don't call us out, because we already did our battle.
Yeah. Seems that shit, you know. I don't produce enough testosterone because I smoke menthols, you know. But hey, check this out, bro. Check this out. So, see, you know, and this is only not even half of one from the 101, you know.
True, we're still meant to
event
be that one
organising.
thing.
But I think there's something important, and I need to address. Yeah, is basically the business and cultural etiquette required for doing certain events.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And you brought it up. It's like, yeah, we didn't bother doing I don't know if bother was the word you used, but we didn't do an after party because we had to make sure our judges were being fed.
Yeah.
When you're organizing an event, you got to consider yourself the event organizer / producer of the event. Especially if you're the one forking out your own money for it. That means you're the producer of the event.
100%.
Right?
Which is what Cross Stars is all self-funded between us three. So
There you go. So the three of you are not only event organizers, you're also event coordinators.
Yep.
You're also
hosts,
producers. You're also hosts, judges, whatever. Yeah. Now,
chauffeurs,
everything.
man, everything.
If you're gonna fly someone down, you're gonna go pay for their ticket, and you're gonna bring it down. You're hosting them. You're not just paying for a dude's ticket and then just let him be. You know, you're hosting them. So you need to take into consideration accommodation, transportation, their per diem, which is the term for having some kind of allowance for them.
Yeah.
right? Where, you
Which
know,
is the
pay
food.
food or travel costs if they have to do it themselves,
Yep.
you know? And, you know, because think about it, if you work full time and then someone's trying to fly you out to another place, not only are they going to pay you for, well, if you really wanted them, right? Let's say you're talking about Mr. Wiggles or whatever.
Yeah.
Why would Wiggles cancel his work wherever he is to come to Australia or reschedule? It's because you're providing him a good opportunity with good pay and the per diems of what he's probably missing out on in another place.
Yeah.
Or what he regularly makes. So if you're making 500 a week, right, and it's going to take you a week out of your country, you need to be able to get 500 in reality, you know? But the fact is, sometimes us grassroots events organizers can't afford that money.
No.
You know, I've seen ones, and no names will be named because then you'll be able to follow the paper trail. But I'd seen a judge have to catch a train by himself to an event. Then he gets to the event, right? He doesn't even get paid at the end of the event, right? And then there's a bit of after party going on there. So he's sticking around, and then the organizer just says to him, "Oh yeah, you can just catch the night rider train bus back into the city." And I went, "What the fuck?" And this dude was, had a cultural background that should understand the basic premise of cultural etiquette.
Yeah.
Hosting etiquette. He did not do these things.
That's one, that'll be blasphemy for us, man. Man, it's crazy, right? Just on a side topic of hosting.
Yeah.
Man, me and David, especially, we took it so seriously when we had Hurricane down.
Oh,
Bro, you know how serious it took, right? So, for those who don't know, Hurricane's like a lock from America. His name is Alan, Alain, right? So, in our head, we're just doing scenarios to each other, like, fuck, what if he's like a whack, like, person?
Yeah.
What if, because we don't know how he's like, right?
Yeah, you don't know
what if
these
we're like, "Oh, what's up, Alan?" And then he's like, "It's actually Alain."
Yeah.
And you're just like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It could be, you don't know how he's going to be.
No.
After a 25-hour flight, you don't know, right? So, when we see him, we're like taking it seriously. He's a bottle
Is he
of water.
from New York?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I think he's from Haiti?
Oh.
Yeah, that's his...
Haiti.
Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah. That's his background, but I
Right.
think he was raised in New York. Like, he lived in New York and
Right.
stuff. But,
Wow,
yeah, but
Haitian.
that's
He's
his, like...
Haitian.
Yeah. So, with him, we knew where he's from and all that, but we didn't really, like, know who he was as a person just from his Instagram and Facebook, whatever. So we met him, like, he was cool, we're just driving, but we made sure, like, he was fed, he wasn't, like, thirsty, if he needed, like, clothes, because, fuck, he came here when it was, like, winter, right, in August? No. Yeah, August last year,
yeah.
right? It was winter. He was preparing for a summer tour, because Australia was the only cold place, then he had to go to Poland, which was, for fair play, which was summer. So we were giving him jackets, making sure that we were there when he woke up.
Yeah.
Fuck, man, we took it so seriously. So
Yeah.
shit like that, where people who are disconnected from that, that sucks, because if you're flying someone down and you're hosting them, they also have an expectation that they're going to be looked after, because that's work for them.
That's exactly
Yeah.
it.
But
That's
anyways,
exactly
yeah.
it.
Yeah, let's
Right?
go on, yeah.
That's exactly it. And then, of course, everything within context and balance, Like, I think everyone should be treated the same, but then sometimes you have hierarchy, and if you're dealing with a dude who's like triple OG status, maybe, hopefully you don't have to get down on your knees and suck his dick, but you might have to treat him with a different kind of respect.
Yeah.
Like, you just got to give him his space. He needs to have a certain standard of, like, accommodation, Like, don't make this dude sleep in your, on your
garage.
couch, unless he says it's cool.
Yeah.
It's like if he goes, "Oh, look, man, you know what? To be honest, bro, like, I'm happy to stay at yours."
Yeah. Like Tricks, for example, when we brought the Korean crumpet down, he wanted a hotel. And we did that request, because that's what he said. That's cool. We could follow that request, and we respected that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You actually have to prepare for these things, and that's why it makes more sense. That's sustainable to do an event once a year.
So-
again, depending on the context.
Depending on the context. So I guess if we're talking about etiquette, so let's say we're just talking about bringing people down. I think one thing that people don't consider, and especially if you're ones who are wanting to organize an event and bring, let's say, international or national guests down, or even have like local guests. Let's say you have like a showcase, right? If we're talking, let's say, just purely international guests and you're hosting them and everything, cost wise, you have to consider flights, accommodation, food, drinks, judge fee, talent fee for teaching workshops, workshop or studio hire. And if you want filming at your event, like we had Flying Arts, you also have to pay them as well.
Exactly.
So I think a lot of people that do get into organizing events or even say, oh, I'm so interested in bringing down this dancer. And I get people that hit me up about it. I'm like, cool. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about this? Like, oh, nah.
Yep.
I don't consider that cost. It's like, it's a cost you have to take on.
Yes.
And they're like, how did you make your money back? It's like, we didn't.
There we go.
Or we just broke even. It's like, why did you even bother doing it? Because it's for the community, end of the day.
Exactly.
But we were willing to lose money if we had to for the sake of the event.
Yeah.
It sucks, but if you're wanting to be a good host, and mind you, word travels. If you have a shit event, people's going to know about it.
Exactly.
And if your event comes back next year, would they come back? Possibly they would, because they would support you, but they'd be hesitant.
Exactly.
Like, if Battle Royale was whack, I'd tell Vlad because he's my mate.
Yeah.
But then someone else who may not be close to Vlad, would they bother going to Battle Royale again? Probably not. Maybe they're like, nah, I went last year, it was a bit whack. I'm just going to stay home and jerk off.
Yeah.
You know, whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So
Yes, you do.
it's like,
You know?
one is like the way as a host or as an organizer, if you look after your guests as well, that person will spread the word of, hey, Australia has some mad places to go. I was in Melbourne. These guys looked after me. If you guys ever get that chance, these guys are good.
That's exactly
You know?
it.
And word travels, as you already
That's
know.
exactly. And word of mouth is the best word.
So that's
you
just
know?
hosting and a guest.
And that's just the
Yeah.
guess part. You know what I mean? Now, if we're gonna like, we won't go into too much, finite detail, but it's like when you're running an event, and you're trying to like fit all of this shit into like a day, or a weekend or whatever. Like, you need to understand what like scheduling is all about, and making sure things run smooth. For me, this is what happened to me. I'm very fortunate that in my job I could run consistent events, and I used to run events $500 a month, right? Because we had the funding.
Yeah.
Right. And so this $500 a month, right, with charging only $5 to $10 at the door, the first resistance we got is, why the fuck do we need to pay $10 entry? It's like, fuck, bro, it's only $5 entry, $10 entry. It's like, yeah, but we are the entertainment for this. I go, bro, look around, who's here? Us. I go, exactly, bro. Who do you think's paying for that DJ? Who do you think's paying for that host? Luckily we can get this venue for free, bro. It was a student who was arcing up to me.
Yeah.
And I said to him, bro, I'm just paying for them.
Yeah.
Like, he is providing a service, he's not going to do that for free.
No.
You know what I mean? And there's this, and it's even worse now because there's this sense of entitlement by everybody. And hence why I wrote that post about the weekend, like, it's just like, dudes got to stop vulturing this stuff, or else one day there won't be any events, and you sure as hell not going to be running the event yourself. You just whinged about
Well,
it.
no one's going to go to your event because you're the one who whinged about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like we're all in this together,
Yeah.
And I'll refrain from using the word community because some of you guys...
It's a dirty word.
Yeah, it's a dirty word now. Some of you guys use this word community, and it's like, yeah, but you don't even fucking contribute to community. You rock up and you're that silent dude in the background. You didn't even get in the cypher. You didn't even enter the battle, and then you're the one whinging as a keyboard warrior.
Yeah. Or or you criticize what was done, but then you don't have anything to show out for it.
Nah.
But I mean, like,
and that's normal for our culture today.
that's normal. Yeah, I mean, that's normal for any culture. Like, you have people that complain about everything, and I get it. Like, fuck, like, man, like the shit that we've copped with Jam on Toast, like,
Really?
like shit in terms of like what people talk about it from when I hear about it. I'm like, everyone's entitled to their opinion, and I'll allow it. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
But like, if people be like, I remember, we were told like how our group was dwindling and thinning out,
Whoa.
purely, yeah, like someone was like, just, I'm not gonna name the person, but
Hater.
it's fine. They
Hater.
still attended the jams. So I'm like,
Of course they did.
yeah, but like the person, like, it was an international workshop, and the guest was like asking about the community in Melbourne, so it was a big like topic that everyone was like chiming into, but the people who were chiming into the topic was the one that have nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
Now, again, like, everyone's entitled to their opinion, and you can say it. But, like, if you're going to, like, talk smack about it or, like, down talk my community, but then you still show up and we're actually not dwindling or anything like that, it's like, what do you mean? Like, you're not connected to what we do. You know what I mean? But it's like the ones that have so much to say have little to show for it.
Mm-hmm.
But then when the moment they start doing this shit, you realize how hard it is.
Exactly.
That's why, like, for us with Jam on Toast, the hardest thing for us, and we can say that we are a community.
Yeah.
Like, I can say that now. But if you asked me that a year ago, people would have told me it's a community. I would have been like, yeah, it's just a jam session. But it brought people together, which is cool.
And it grew.
And I guess maybe back when we...
But you still don't have peanut butter on that toast.
No, bro. Fucking allergic, bro. But back when we first started
You don't have milk, egg, bread.
No, I can have milk, bro.
Yeah, but you can't have egg.
Yeah, no, I can't have
So
egg.
your bread's without egg in it.
But bread doesn't have egg, depending if it's brioche.
That's what
So we can't be brioche, you know, like jam on brioche or some
What
shit.
do you think I have in Canberra?
Nah, joking. Come on your forehead.
But then, but then Shimpara and
Judo.
and Judo scared me. Nah.
But
Shout outs to them.
shout out to them, yeah. But yeah, like for us, like running Jam on Toast, like I guess now I think this relates more on why I'm bringing this up for people organizing events. If you have a community behind you, it makes sense because then you realize what your scene needs,
Yes.
or what it's missing, or what you think would help boost the scene.
That's exactly
Right.
it.
So when we started Jam on Toast, it wasn't because we wanted like to be known as the biggest group in Melbourne, or one of the biggest. I'm not say the biggest,
Yeah.
one of the main jams in Melbourne.
Yeah.
It just happened that we ran a jam session on Wednesday.
Yeah.
We didn't even promote publicly. We
Yeah.
were just like, yeah, we're just here on Wednesdays if you want to come through. Like
Yeah.
just the people that knew it. So,
Yeah.
you know, we steadily gained ground, and then slowly, even we don't know, me and Dave look back, we're like, fuck, what did we do right? We don't know, right? So we just kept doing our thing. But the main thing was we were consistent, but we were genuine with connecting with people. That was our main thing.
Yes.
Right. So we're just like, hey, look, come through Jam. You know, it's just open for everyone just to chill out, get to know each other.
Yes.
During this time, I think the only the jam session was the Thursday sessions at State Library.
Yes.
But that was the only jam that I know of, apart from maybe the Poppers.
Yeah.
So there wasn't much places for people to dance together. So maybe at the time we stumbled upon something that Thursday sessions already did, which was run by Kimpachi and Josh.
Yes.
But maybe the way we ran it was something that maybe the community wanted without them knowing.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Because maybe the way we ran it was something that made people want to come on Wednesday, or maybe everyone was just freer on Wednesdays. Who the fuck knows? But we just did it on Wednesday because we were free.
Yeah.
So when we started it, we started gaining people, you know, 5 people. First it was like me and David,
Yep.
Anthony P from PD,
Yep.
and then Chapman, Alessandro, and then slowly the number just grew from 8 people, 10. Then before you know it was like 12 people, 15, and then 20. And then one time it was like 30 people. And then the biggest sessions we ever had was when Hiro from Japan came down, a house dancer. After that workshop, we had a session. Bro, there was over like 50, 40 people at QV. We had to do like 3 circles. But that was when it was at its pinnacle, like the highest like height. And that was just the day I think everyone was free and that wanted to check it out.
Yeah.
And this is when Jam on Toast was probably the biggest because it was like word of mouth. It was like, hey, there's a jam session on. Check it out. Cool. So then as time goes by, whether we influence other people to do their own thing, I don't know. If we did, good. But I'm not going to take any credit for other scenes that started. Since Jam on Toast had their Wednesdays, and then House of Feels or House with Miyaka became the Friday sessions. Yeah. Now, again, I'm not saying that we helped to push to start Fridays. We did not. In fact, she did it on her own.
Word.
Right? And then that scene, that jam became a community itself. And it's now House of Feels that you know it.
Word.
From the jams, from the group that she's grown foundation-wise and like skill-wise,
Right.
to running an event where showcase battles, parties. That's because she was able to fund and push her time into house,
Yes.
the community itself.
Yes.
And that grew that. From then on, we had other communities pop up. So G-Ray, I think it was Harold as well, with the Light Feet.
Yep.
So I think G-Ray was doing the hip-hop sessions on Monday, if I'm correct. And then I think everyone wanted the Light Feet sessions, so Harold made like a little group as well. So there was Monday and Thursday hip-hop. And I'm like, cool. Man, and this is all this year and late last year or whenever when House had their sessions.
Yes.
So as I would say last year actually, just to get the timeline right. So last year, that's when individual styles started coming up.
Word.
Hopping was already there every Thursday, which was cool.
Yes.
And then house had their own thing.
Yes.
Hip hop had their own thing.
Yes.
The breakers finally found RMIT.
Yeah, they finally got a
so
spot.
because they used to train with us as well on the side, and I remember I used to have 2 speakers, and I used to connect it, and I always never used to talk to any of them. Like I maybe know David Shin, Tim, and like maybe Blue was there or something.
Yeah.
But I would always say hi, but then I wouldn't talk to any of the rest of them. But what I'd connect my 2 speakers, rather than place it near my group, I placed it in the middle for them. And I remember like there's always that one b-boy I always look at, and he looks at me and I do this, and he's like, "Thank you," like showing them like, "Hey, here's my music as well."
Yeah.
But then it's like you guys can train with us.
Word.
In the vicinity.
Same
Yeah.
vicinity.
So then they disappeared because they found RMIT and
Yeah.
it's better flooring. I'm like,
Yeah.
cool. So then they did their own thing. So then, they've always been together.
Yeah.
So then now Jam on Toast, I would say, has definitely shrunken purely because people have found styles to be at.
There we go.
Which is sick because now I'm just like, cool. Because like fast forward or rewind 2 years ago to a year and a half ago, you had none of these sessions
Exactly.
running consistently.
Exactly.
But now I'm like, when I look back, I'm like, that's sick.
Yeah.
Puts less pressure on me and David to be there. Because, man,
Yeah.
running it for like, the last 2 years has been so difficult
It's
consistently.
hard, consistently.
Yeah. But that's why I say big props to anyone right now who are still running their sessions. Because it's like, that shit takes, even if it's once a week, being there all the time is hard work.
It's hard work,
Yeah.
man.
But
and I think
yeah.
a lot of people like yourself, you guys don't get the props for it, you know. And in a sense, that's, if you put it in a hip hop context, that's how you pay dues to your culture, you know, because it's at the end of the day, it's just how that's culture. People, this is what people do, you know. But there still needs to be those people in place to be the ones to curate or to host or to bring people together or whatever it is, you know. We're all playing our part, you know.
100%.
Even the haters, you know, like everyone plays a role, you know. And I think we're just trying to find, that opportunity to belong,
Yeah.
you know, and then everything else that comes along with like doing things like maintaining these events and keeping it going and keeping that flame alive. You know
100%.
what I mean?
So, I mean, like, especially with, like, I think the best example right now would be, I only use Miyaka's house community because with Cross Styles, it's a collaboration between us, Jam on Toast, and Burn City Whack.
Right.
But with Miyaka's one, it's purely her vision.
Yeah.
Purely her what she wants to do. So
Yeah.
for me, if anyone was to start a community, and like this is the way I see it, I always give people a year. If you can run a consistent jam for a year,
Yes.
or keep pushing it,
Yes.
that shows at least your heart's in it
Yes.
for the right reasons,
Exactly.
mind you. Because like if me
Exactly.
honestly, if I was speaking for myself and David as well, if we were 2 years ago and we were looking at Jam on Toast, we were like saying, you know what? Let's run this so we can get fucking money and get rich. Bro, we'd bomb out in the first 6 months.
Yeah.
If not the first 3
No,
months.
that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Those are external factors that, money, power, fame, greed, whatever it is, those are things that you've seen. Everyone knows what happens with that shit already.
Yeah.
know? But what you guys have done collectively, the individuals you've mentioned, the other sessions outside of that group, that's based on it's a new word I learned. A quality, a human quality that you have that's called autotelic.
What's it tell? Like, fuck, I never heard of that.
Yeah, it's like low self-centeredness, internally driven, and you just do things, and it's one of the qualities you need to have to get into a zone too.
Okay. Interesting. So it takes like some sort of maturity to get there.
Yeah,
too.
it's a certain kind of person, and they're not necessarily leader types, but these are things that it's just beyond them now. They
Interesting.
get out of their own way and just do the work.
Do stuff. Yeah.
That's
That's weird because the only person that really put the word leader in our mouths, and like what I mean by that is like actually telling us, no, fucking wake up, you guys are leaders of this group. You have weight.
Yes.
Was Andy,
yes,
the one who runs Burn City Whack.
yes,
Because for a long time, we were just like, it's just a jam session. It's whatever it's gonna be.
yeah,
Chill. It's always not gonna change, and it hasn't changed what it is. It's just a jam session, and it's not focused on dancing. It was never like we're here to upskill. Fuck, we're an open styles jam. Like I'm not gonna tell someone who's popping no, you need to pop harder. Fuck, I don't know shit about pop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like, I'm here to play music, just gonna have fun,
Yes.
and that's all we're gonna do. Like, that's as simple as it is, and I'm just gonna rock up 8:15 or 8:30 whenever I rock up, play the speaker till it dies or till when I have to go.
Exactly.
That's how simple it was, and it's never changed since then.
That's it.
So I think how simple we were setting it up, but also the maturity me and David have to just be consistent and push it. That's sort of where it got to now. So when Andy was like, no, you guys understand, you guys are leaders. We're like, what the fuck you mean we're leaders? You know, we're fucking around, you know, we're just doing what is fun. We're just, we didn't even think much about it.
Right.
Until he's like, no, if you think about it, people respect you guys in this light. And then we thought about it, like, we can see where it comes from.
Yeah.
But then we weren't like, oh, yeah, fuck, we're leaders now. Like, that was never the goal. But we got there because accidentally we got there.
Yeah.
Because we did things right that we didn't even know what we did.
Right.
But we just did us.
You know.
It was genuine because we did what we wanted to do, which
it.
was just have fun.
That's it.
So
the world works in mysterious ways.
Mysterious
you
ways,
know?
exactly.
And I think, you know, like, it's a good point. It's a good thing that Andy brought things up like that, because with great responsibility, with great power comes great responsibility. You know.
So I guess we were relating it back to events. Sorry, this is where I was meant to tie it together.
Yeah.
If you're genuine with what you care about with your community and you do an event for your community, show that care with the event as well.
That's it.
Because for us, man, like, cross styles especially, we were worried for the guests, man. We were late, mind you, setting up cross styles because the fucking floor was the worst thing to set up at cross. Because we wanted to put cardboard and as well as floorboards, so the floor was flat for the dancers.
Yeah.
We didn't want a crumper stomping or a breaker, you know, getting down and all of a sudden it's like, fuck, my elbow's twisted because, like, the floor's off.
That's what happened. That's what happened to Sean.
Oh,
at
yeah?
my event, he popped his knee up.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. That's...
Yeah.
Yeah, so for us, we had to set up in a short amount of time because of schedule-wise with Section 8. We sort of had a miscommunication with the time set up and the opening time. So we had to cut back an hour into setting up. And an hour in an event, for those who don't know, is a long time.
It's a long time.
Because in that time, you could have to cut out a jam, a break, cut down 15 seconds of a round. So you, instead of 30-second rounds, you do 45 seconds, who knows?
Yeah.
But shit like that, we were setting up and we were late. Because we had 12 to 1. I had to set up, 11 to 12. And registration was 12 to 1. And then the battle started at 1:15. We didn't start rego till 12:30. For us, half an hour doesn't seem like much. You still have another half an hour. That kind of sets us back schedule-wise. So if you're organizing events, like, consider these little things that you're doing. Yeah,
That's it. The event is not just the day.
No.
The event
100%.
is the 10 months in lead up to it. Maybe it's the 10 years in lead up to it. You know what I mean?
100%.
And actually, I didn't get to get a chance to tie in my thing, but like the consistency of being able to do an event every month, you know, with a $500 budget. But it's like, the way I used to run events was I would actually walk from the front of the venue, because I worked within the venue. The offices were upstairs, but downstairs was a space like this, right? I walked through the door. It's like, all right, so if I'm a competitor or audience member, like, I'll walk in and what do I see? Right, booth here, right, and okay, where are we going to set up the floor? Because, you know, it's an open warehouse. It's like, how are you going to navigate? And so I would actually, for logistic purposes, I would create a path. I will walk it through. And I'll visualize it. And that's part of the workshops that I used to run with the Freezer Committee.
Okay.
You know, we had Reflex, we had Young Philly, we had Russ, we had Rob, the Crumper. U-Ground.
Yeah,
we had U-Ground there.
Yeah.
I think Gian came once. Gian came. You know, it was Foxy.
Foxy as well.
You know, Margarita. You know, there's a lot of different people that came through, and you know, and it's really about visualizing that time in that space, and then through doing consistent events. And so I was very fortunate, probably more lucky than a lot of other event organizers. But you get to trial everything to the point where you're starting to experiment with your format because you're already starting to get it. You know, then someone asked me, young Philly was like, Lama, how do you do these events and stay so calm? I go, bro, at the end of the day, man, you're not dead. You're not gonna die from this. So take a deep breath, relax, and realize it's okay to make mistakes.
Yeah.
But with this current climate, it's like you fuck up once, you're
Condemned.
always gonna be reminded about it. So it's like there needs to be other ways for people to create these experiences for themselves, whether at their uni, whether in their own garage, whether like, you know what I mean?
Test, yeah. I
And
mean, that's the harsh reality is if you do fuck up in life, you are going to be condemned for it by one person, group of people, a community of people.
Yep.
And as little as it can be to as big as it can be, you are going to be criticized for it and known for that shit forever. Which you just have to take it on the chin.
Yeah.
Like, and just move on.
That's resilience.
Or learn from it.
And
like,
learn
at least
from it.
learn from it. Because
from it.
for us, if we were to fuck up cross styles, touch wood, and I probably know it will maybe happen one day, as things never always go right.
Yeah. Yeah, if everything here's a forewarning for anyone who's going to get into events. If on the day everything seems like it's running smooth, don't let your guards down.
Yeah.
Because that usually means there's something you've overlooked or is yet to happen, and when it happens, then you know.
Yeah.
And you only learn by doing.
Yeah.
You know.
It's like if you have a time schedule and you're going really well, oh, we've got a bit of time and maybe we can extend the break or extend the session. Don't.
No.
Because what happens is you get to the finals, things get hype, shit happens, someone's late, someone hasn't been there for the battle,
Yep.
judges hasn't come back from their toilet
Or
break.
someone's gone out to grab something to eat, or toilet break, left their phone inside the venue. You're trying to call them to start the event.
Be
Like, where the
organised.
fuck are these guys? I'm trying to run an event. Yeah, there they were eating at Macca's or some shit. It's like, fuck, bro.
Yeah, you gotta be on guard, as you said, like 100% all the time. I think that's the one thing that people aren't aware is like when the event starts, your work's not done, or it's not like 50% of the work's done because the event's finally in motion. As an organizer, you have to make sure things do run on time.
Yes.
So someone like the MC is the one that dictates what happens. So they're the ones that announce we're gonna go a break, we're
Yes.
back,
Yes.
top 16,
Yes.
10 seconds, whatever it is.
Yes.
They're the ones that tell you the flow of the event.
That's it.
If they're gonna be like, all right, let's get back. Yep.
Nah.
We're doing top 16 now.
Nah.
Nah. Someone
Fire.
like Andy, because he MC'd cross styles, fuck, he made sure we were fucking on time. Like, there was no, like, if you're like standing in the middle, get the fuck off. Like, you're like, oh, fuck, shit.
Yeah.
Like, there was
And
no.
Andy has that authority in his voice.
Yeah.
So that's where he does his job well, right? In that context.
In that context, yeah,
Because
100%.
he's also need I remind you, he's also the event coordinator. He's also the producer. He's also another host.
Yeah. So
It's-
we know like what goes on.
Yeah.
Like we had to make sure the judges were around. Like, and that's the reason why like people, if they saw me and David on the day, we couldn't chat to anyone. I had to fucking add up the scores.
Yeah.
In between the battles.
Here we go.
And then people would come up and say, hi, I'm like, I'm trying to do 2 + 2. I don't know what that is. Let me get a
Yeah,
calculator.
yeah,
Hi, I'm sorry.
yeah.
Like that shit is pressuring because you don't want to fuck up someone else's opportunity.
Exactly.
That's the worst thing.
That's
It's like,
the worst thing.
Fuck, I couldn't do 2 + 2.
Yeah.
And now that whack guy's in there.
And then someone's gonna ask, "Oh, how come I didn't get put through?" "Oh, bro, we forgot to add up your score."
Yeah.
Oh, that's happened.
Yeah.
That's
Or
happened.
like the judges who did the scoring did it the other way around or did something incorrectly.
Yeah.
Like I remember like Jay came up to me and when I was adding up like Trix and Cherry did like out of 10.
Yeah.
And then Jay did out of 3. In my head I was like, fuck, that's what we forgot to think.
Yes.
How are they judging it together? Because then we could
Yes.
add up the scores easier. So
Yes.
we totally got blindsided by that.
There we
but
go.
I didn't realize that until I had the paper with me and it was already too late. The Crump prelims were starting for the 2v2 and I was like, these are the 1v1 of 65 or 70 something people. So I was looking at it, I'm like, fuck. And I'm like, I wanted to call Jay. I'm like, Jay, I need to know, did you do number 1 was your best or number 3 was your best?
Yeah.
Luckily, he just came by and said, who my scorings are? I'm like, bro, is it 3 is the best or 1's the best? He's like, 3 is the best.
Yeah.
Thank fuck for that. Because
Yeah.
then I can just add up.
Yeah.
But something little like that for an organizer, even considering judging, that's hard. Because if you've judged and you've judged yourself, sometimes your criteria or how you judge number-wise to market for yourself, you give it to the organizer, they're going to be like, how's your judging? And you know it because that's how you write it down.
Exactly.
But then the organizer's like, fuck, but he's added up this way. He's used letters. This guy's used kanji. It's like, the fuck am I going to do with this, you know?
There we go.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, again, where, you don't learn these things until it happens.
Yeah.
But I guess this is why we're explaining it, so we can fast track some of these processes. But it's kind of like, For example, you could have a runner,
Yeah.
you know, to go and you know about this stuff anyway,
Yeah.
but let's just mention it for the record, you know. You can have a runner that's going to be the one who's going to run to Andy or run to Jay while you're calculating,
Yeah.
you know, or you have someone else delegated to do doing your scores because you need to be monitoring something else.
Yeah.
And then you start delegating and you have all these different people involved, you know, and then you start to realize, don't you, like the scope of like how big the work is. And that's what people don't see.
Yes.
That's why these dudes complain, you know? It's like, well, yeah, if you were in my shoes, you'd understand, you know? But they don't see that because these are the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
For good reason. Because it's about, when you watch a movie, you didn't see the 1,200 takes that it took for, you know,
No.
to do that one scene.
We just wanted to
you
show
know?
you 1 minute of epicness.
Yeah, right? And that's a lot of hard work,
Yeah.
you know? It's like there's 1 hour in that 1 minute.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%.
And these, yeah.
It's crazy because, like, if it weren't for those little people that help out, like runners, as you said, people who look like make sure the guests are okay, people like that help as event organizers run the event more smoothly. Because then, as you said, our attention isn't divided on shit that we don't need to worry about.
That's exactly
Like
right.
I remember one of the biggest ones we had to make sure was entries, right? Make sure everyone's rego signed the waiver form.
Yes.
We didn't want to have Andy do it as well because, or like myself or David, because I had to get the flooring right.
Yes.
David was helping me with that. At the same time, we also had to bring our guests in as well.
Yeah.
So between ushering the guests to come to the venue, having the venue set up, and having this rego station set up too, that shit, you're gonna need more than 3 people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that's why, like,
Exactly.
we're always grateful for volunteers, and like that shit helps out.
Yeah.
But for those like who are thinking about running events, like even things like registrations,
Bro,
like
registrations
dance,
are the
like
worst.
one of the things that, as a dancer and an event organizer, that pisses you off is lateness.
Yeah.
So dancers sometimes will always be late.
Yes.
That's mantra. That's typical.
Yeah.
But as an event organizer, that's the worst thing you
It's
want.
the worst thing.
Because what happens is, what people don't consider is that there may be something afterwards, or there's a schedule where we have to clear out.
Time limit.
So
Yeah.
we had to clear out of section 8 by 6 p.m. on the dot.
Ooh.
We will run over by 15 minutes,
That's not bad.
which is fine.
Yeah.
But one of the things why we had to run out of there is I had to fucking clear the floor.
Oh.
So we had floorboards stuck down with cardboard stuck down, and the mat we had to re-roll, move to the garage, which is another block away, come back and make sure the guests were okay too. So it's shit like that as well.
Yeah.
That people got to consider is like post-event, how are you going to clear your shit?
Yes.
Because they're not going to do it for you.
No. No. That's
Unless they
exactly-
do, which is cool.
Unless, yeah, and then, you know, and so these are the things that need to be considered before you even begin.
Yeah.
You
So
know.
it's like you think about, and one thing that I can suggest for anyone who does an event
Yeah.
or going to do an event,
Yeah.
attend one, volunteer. If you judge an event yourself, see how the judging works for you, what didn't work for you. If you're an MC, what worked for you, what didn't work for you. Because then those are feedback that you don't need to ask, but you can just gauge on by attending.
That's exactly it, bro.
So-
How much time have you got, man, before you got to go?
We've got about another 20 minutes or so.
20 minutes?
Yeah.
Alright. Well, we might as well keep this rolling, yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
I'll give you guys a little bit of insight into sort of my background of like when I was judging in Japan. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Red Bull BC. Red Bull was like the
You
guys
judged Red Bull?
organizing. Yeah.
Yeah.
In Tokyo, right? 2013.
Fuck, what a
It
made
was
go.
Issei versus Nori from Floria's.
Whoa.
Yeah, the 2 top B-boys in Japan at the time. Yeah.
Shit, you say even. Yeah.
Now, we had a green room. There was conversations with the judges, the organizer. One of the main organizers was DJT, you know. He works for Red Bull, but he's also like a cultural figure in Japan scene from Osaka, now in Tokyo, I think, still. But there was like induction, bro.
Induction.
I'd call it an induction in Australian practices, like for work or
Yeah.
you know, like corporate or whatever. Like an induction, he sat us down. He had these papers out. It was all very informal in a sense, but it was very formal in the way that it operated. You
Yeah,
know?
fair enough.
It was just like, right, guys. So I just want to know how you guys judge. You know, like we will be going a hand decision, 3, 2, 1. You pick. You know, but you know, these are certain things that we're looking for. You know, what are you looking for, etc., etc. and this is how we're going to run the eliminations. And so, you know, it was already thought out and planned, but here's a veteran. This is a dude who's been running events for ages.
He knew,
you know what I mean? Then, you know, there was things where, you know, like, because Japan is very, like, rigid in terms, and strict is probably the better word, strict in terms of how things operate. Man, you know, in our room, like, we had sponsorship giveaways that we got to wear. You know, we had like Red Bull and all sorts of other drinks that we could drink, you know, like water, you know, like everything was sorted, you know. Then they provided lunch, but then, man, they had a staff, because they had a big staff. Like, there was cameramen, there were runners, there were social media people, there were the DJs, lighting people, like runners, volunteers, so many, yeah. But when lunch came, our green room, so imagine a table just like this, but like the long trestle tables like this one, sorry.
Yeah.
Right? That was full of bento boxes. And it's like, and then, you know, it came there, and it's just the etiquette in Japan, yeah? Everyone else waited because they knew the judges were the main guests.
Fuck.
So then the organizer himself, DJT, he's like, guys, the food's here. Feel free to take whatever you want. And everyone waited till you got that food, and then everyone else got the food.
Wow.
You know, even the way that they talk to each other there, you know, it's just something that, you know, took a bit of adjusting, and is just the way of life there. But the way they would talk to us would be very polite.
Yeah.
Whether in Japanese or English. I was lucky because I could understand a bit of Japanese, so they would speak to me in Japanese here and there. But the way they would talk to the volunteers and that, they just order them around. But it was all still respectful.
Yeah.
Even though the dude's getting told, oh, it's like, what the fuck are you doing here? This, and that. But like, still in a weird way respectful.
Yeah.
Just watch Terrace House. You watch Terrace House on Netflix, you'll see what I'm talking about. That's kind of like...
It's kind of like Gordon Ramsay when he shouts at his crew. But his crew gets, it's not personal. It's like, I'm just doing it in a professional way. But I'm calling you a donkey.
Yeah. It's I think that's why he's such an entertaining dude, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we don't have that etiquette in our own culture.
No.
You know?
It's different,
everyone to themselves. Dudes will be bitching about each other, you know, like in a workplace,
Yeah.
But for our group of people and the circles that we are involved in, the things we do, there's a mutual respect. We're all here to dance. We're all here about the art, the culture, you know. When you feel someone's in here and is not about that, you feel it, you know. You're just like, yeah, this dude dodgy.
Like the vibe you feel is like, this guy ain't here, or this girl's not here for the right reason. You're here just for your own fame or your own name.
Yeah, you know, it's like, ooh, get out of here, you know what I mean? Or you work with that dude and utilize that person for the best that you can do, you know, and you have the empathy and understand why they are being that way.
But at the end of the day, it's business.
At the end of the day, it's business. You got to get the job done, or else it's you got to get the job done because it's your balls on the line.
Yeah.
And especially if you're the face, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
And so the way I'd seen how events operate in Japan, and it's really interesting in Japan, is you talked about 65 one-on-ones. Imagine 150.
Bro, that's fucked.
Bro, and then you got to pick a top 16 from that. I was scratching my head. I was like, oh my God. Like, how am I going to pick 16? A lot of these dudes are really good. So then it's a whole different level of like picking your best dudes. And I was merely there because I'm in MZK. You know, my skill level in terms of technique is nowhere near half these Japanese dudes. But they had the respect for me. And I respect that because the level that I bring in is more on the intrinsic levels that, you know, is more out of maturity, not out of skills.
Like physicality.
Physicality, you know, like it's a different discipline. A discipline regardless, nonetheless, you know. And so, yeah, bro. And so the hardest part was trying to port some of that back into Australia because we don't have the numbers. We don't have that kind of etiquette, cultural etiquette. You can't run your business, your company, your organization the same way.
Yeah.
But I did try to bring some of the benefits of that to some of my events.
Yeah.
And that's what Burn Circuit was.
Ah, okay. Yeah,
you know?
fair
Because the idea is, it's not fair that there is 160 people here. They get 30 seconds to a minute to do their best stuff. And then they may have traveled from across the country, if that's a $400 ticket, you know, or that's $1,000 weekend, you know, and they don't even get in.
Yeah.
No respect, there's no recognition, nothing, you know. So that's why I flipped my format up And I am actually, every time I talk about it, I'm hanging and bringing it back, but it's like it needs an infrastructural upgrade because it's like a normal event, which I can do and should do, right? For the sake of consistency and keeping the ball rolling, I should do. I don't do because it's like other reasons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But for Burn Circuit to really take on another level, right? It's like where we're really using technology, where we're actually having proper inductions, you know, because we're trying to address, let's just say, as an example, yeah? I don't want to give away the secrets just yet, right? It'll be transparent when it comes out. But it's just like, okay, Ollie, let's watch this. Judges, let's watch this battle together, right? Here is a sheet, right? We've put some basics here. You can follow it, but I want you to judge this footage based on this sheet. Boom, 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 boom. Have a discussion. There are dudes who already do it. I think, what's his name? I've forgotten his name now. It's crazy. It's a bit embarrassing that I've forgotten his name. But there is a choreographed event organizer.
In Australia?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's originally from the Philippines, but he grew up in or he spent a lot of time in New Zealand, and he brought that system from New Zealand here. It's a very nice model. Wouldn't necessarily be a business model, but in terms of like for
what event?
For a criteria, he did this one where I think tribes was the theme.
Oh, that's Joel.
Yeah,
Joel Fuente.
So
whatever,
Joel Fuente.
Joel Gallardo. Sorry.
Gallarde.
Yeah.
Joel, sorry Joel for forgetting your name, right? But when he explained to me this concept years ago, we're talking a decade ago, I'm like, bro, you're onto something. I think this is good, you know, because it's unfair when, you know, you don't know why you didn't place. And then it's even more unfair when there's no feedback to be given to you. Yeah. And you've dropped $40. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's like when you ask the choreographer or the judges, like, who are you guys again?
Exactly.
And you're like, fair enough that they watched like, what, 50 crews or whatever. But
and it's
like,
hard.
But you're like, dang, we want the feedback. You know,
that's right. And this is where, you know, where the ecosystem can evolve, but it hasn't, right? For example, another thing I learned in Japan. In Japan, I had like 20 people minimum at the end of every event that I judged. How come I lost? What can I do to get better? And I'm like, whoa. And so I realized I had to start changing up my judging. So, dude, you know how I used to judge? It was like a heartbeat. Like what do you call it when your pulse is being in hospital? You've got a toot.
Oh yeah,
toot,
yeah.
Toot, whatever that thing is, yeah. I was writing my notes of each person's run based on a level like that. So, for example, you mentioned, you know, if a dude comes out first, you know, that's like, it shows he's got balls. So I would already write
balls.
Yeah, or I write first.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And then, you know, let's say he's just rocking it standard, it's good. I'll just draw like an arrow like this.
Oh, okay.
And then let's say his drops dope. I'll do D, right?
Yeah.
And then let's say he hits the beat, because I was thinking Japanese. It's like awasu, you know, awashita. He hit the beat, boom. And then let's say he's riding the beat. That became noru, right? And then crash. You know, there's a crash.
Yeah.
And then, bro, it was crazy because it was at a small jam in Kagawa. I used to teach in a studio day every Wednesday. It's 3 hours bus from Osaka, right? And then I stayed there for a weekend once because the studio that I taught for had a b-boy event. Bruh, when it came to doing the comments, it was sick because these dudes' eyes tripped out, man. You know,
they're like, fuck, you remember?
You remember? It's like, oh, what was your name again? And then I'm going through the notes. Sore wa ne. And then I'm flexing the little Japanese that I know. And it's like, yeah, you did this little lotus thread thing, boom, 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 right? And he's like, yeah, I did. And then like, oh, I'm tripping out because there's this interaction in Japanese.
Like, oh my gosh, like this is more than like, because usually they're probably like, I don't remember you. Okay, that's okay. But they're probably like, move, you know.
Yeah, exactly, bro. And then I said, but you crashed. He goes, soya ne, you know, soya ne, whatever. Like, I can't even remember my Japanese now. And then I said, look, that's it. That's the only reason. But if you look at it, I wrote this, I wrote that. You could have won. Arigatou gozaimasu. Arigatou gozaimashita. You know. And
he went home and made the best sushi for himself.
Bro,
you know? He was like,
what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And that's why, if that is your standard of judging, right, then the judge should get paid more. You know, then maybe in turn that means more people need to come, or more people need to pay more to get into the event.
But see, that's only because if they ask for feedback, though.
Yeah.
If you judge like that, because
Yeah.
Japan's like that. I'm
Because
assuming.
Japan's like that.
See, like here,
Nah, no one
like
gives a fuck.
I don't ask for feedback because sometimes I'm just like, yeah, I knew why I lost because I was whack.
Yeah.
But then I don't ask for technicality reasons. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
But see, these are
That's crazy, though,
these
yeah.
are the conversations that need to happen.
Yeah.
That's how this art form is gonna grow better. Or else you're just gonna get a bunch of dudes that all look the same because they just watch the same footage. They watch their own footage when they lose. You go, I'm whack because this other dude did air chair. I need air chairs, you know, or I didn't kill the beat. But
Yeah.
then he might not know, right? That one judge was already going, yo, this kid's onto something.
But because of this, that's why he wasn't through. Not because of this, whatever.
Yeah, you know what I mean? These
It's like
conversations-
framing that feedback, but also the judging in a better light for the competitors.
And
Oh, that's like another.
that's a
side.
whole nother level. But if you think about the systems that operate, let's say at your work or any job or educational system, these are systems in place, you know, and that's what ensures better work, you know, being able to hit your quotas, you know, better education, whatever. And if this is going to the Olympics, then these systems should already be in place. Right? Because when you watch an NBA match, it's like, oh, he made 67% of his field goals, you know, like
statistics.
the
Or worked out
statistics
in real time.
in real time.
Like UFC shit too. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think our art forms individually are more than enough to have statistics like that. You know, like look at the stats. This guy, it shows that this guy has the clearer chance to win. But this is going to be a real interesting matchup because this dude has a musicality ability that is just like.
Yeah.
Have you seen those Japanese graphs that are a circle
Oh yeah, and then have like the
and then it webs
like
out?
a diamond or like pentagon looking thing.
Yeah, because it's like he's strong in this department but weak here.
yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a really interesting graph because that is something that's, again, that's the reason why our dances this art form is difficult because it's all subjective, bro. There's no objectiveness in this dance. It'll never be. It
As
will
much
never.
as you can try to make it,
Yeah.
you can't.
It's subjective, and so that's where you got to start bringing down the stat. You got to bring the stats. And gaming, why I fucks with gaming a lot. Gaming shows that because Ryu versus Ken, they technically have the same moves, right? But their characters and their statistics as a character are this, but then the gamer can utilize them in a different way. So you're fucking with two different sets of statistics, you know. And so imagine a dancer. It's like, okay, so he's actually a b-boy, but he's entering an all-star competition. Oh shit, what does that mean? You know what I mean? And like, this is the shit I trip out on, bro. You know what I mean? And that's why I haven't done a burn circuit yet. Because I feel like it needs to get to that level for it to be quite similarly to when I was breaking in my early days, right? It's like our challenge was all these other dancers, so-called dancers, ballroom, ballet, contemporary, whatever, they didn't think breaking was a dance.
No.
You know? And it's not, b-boys don't give a fuck. They don't want to take the helm back and say, we are the first hip-hop dance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it doesn't work. Yet, the judges at Destructive Steps in 2016, they go, oh, is your main style b-boy? I say, yeah. It's like, oh, you know?
Yeah,
because I came out, I popped, I housed, I locked, you know? But I had that, the blow-up energy,
That energy
of a
and the
b-boy,
explosion of- yeah.
you know?
True.
That, bro, it was weird when it was time to get the prize. I can't remember his name. Is it Jin, maybe? There was a popper, bold with glasses.
From
Korea.
From World Famous?
Probably. He always has the same kind of outfit on. You know, slacks, plain t-shirt,
White tee.
white tee.
I think it's this one. But anyways, I'll see if I can find it.
When he was giving me the prize, he was running away from me. I was like, is this dude fucking with me? But then he's like, oh, I'm so scared of you. It's like, what? Dude, you're a legend.
This one?
I believe so. Poppin' J.
Poppin' J. Yeah.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah, he's this guy.
Yeah. And bro, and he's a legend for that, man, you know? And I'm like, you know, and so I really feel like the burn circuit will eventually be one all right, just to make it clear, because now it's become about burn second. I don't want to make it about burn second, but it's all related to events. Yeah,
Nah, 100%.
This is probably an agenda for you, like why you would want to do cross styles, why you would want to do battle royale, because you're trying to get you'd want to go get a kind of agenda across, you know. But the idea that burn circuit was created to
Tackle
address
that. Yeah.
this issue, not the bullshit that I was just talking about.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
I'm just imagining things.
Imaginating. Wow. Okay. Making up
but-
new words now.
Yeah, making up new words is the idea that dancers don't get enough time on the floor. Simple and plain.
Which is true. Yeah.
You know, and then that essence. Everyone's talking about ciphers in this and cipher that, but how many people are actually doing it? So here's an event that forces you to do that. You
Which
know
is-
what I mean?
Which is very true, because then it forces you now to train differently.
Exactly. And then it's just another thing to add into the spectrum.
True.
You know, because you need to have your destructive steps, standard battle formats. You need to have your cross stuff.
Yeah.
You need to have your battle royales.
You need all that.
You know,
the sessions and all that.
yeah.
Like, they all add together, but I guess maybe what you're doing isn't. Because I remember we talked about this in Osaka. Maybe it's not ready.
It's not
The
ready.
people aren't ready for it yet.
There's not enough people. You know, it's like that's it's simple and plain. That's the only reason why you can't run these events, because
Yeah.
you don't have. You've only got 6 million here.
Yeah.
You know, there's 20 million in whatever other country.
Like
you
in
know?
Japan, I could see how that would work. Because, like, if you host a battle, you're going to have 300 people rock up.
Exactly. That's exactly right. You know, and so in
Or
10
Radical Force.
or
You have,
Radical
like,
Force.
fucking the whole room filled up.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
So in 10 to 20 years here in Australia, then it'll be that level.
Yeah.
But it won't be like that until, you know,
Not yet.
not yet, you know.
Which is fine. Because
Which is fine.
that's just how our community works here.
is exactly
It's
it.
like Melbourne has always been, like, tiny. Or
Yeah.
a small community.
Yeah.
Which is what makes it so good, because we have so many individuals in our community.
Yeah.
But I guess what you're talking about, especially with Burn Circuit, or even something like Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Battle Royale, I would say why I sort of putting Burn Circuit and Battle Royale in this topic now is that those events are great because of the numbers.
Yes.
Yeah, but also the need to jump in every single fucking time and show up, rather than just going, all right, it's my turn, I'm gonna just do my thing. No.
No.
I'm gonna rip it this time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna rip it again. Like, kind of that mentality.
That's
but
exactly
that
it.
calls for someone who actually wants to dance like that.
That's it.
Which
It's-
is, I would say, rarer. Rarer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's rare.
Rarer.
It's
rarer.
rare.
Yeah.
It's rarer. And you know what? And this is the thing. It's again, that's the agenda, you know? That's the reason, maybe, you know, we'd have to get Vlad in here for actual session. But that's the reason why Vlad wants to run Battle Royale, to build that kind of resilience. And he goes to show, because that's his background. That's how Crump is. You get put into the hot box with Crumpers, my God. You know?
Yeah,
and
if you
they're
see someone getting caged, bro, you're like, fuck that.
Oh man, yeah, I'm not down, bro. Like, I'll cry that shit. Nah, I'll
Bro,
put
they
up-
do cry, though.
yeah, because it's so emotional, man. You know what I mean? But these are all platforms that people can express a different thing. You know what I mean? And if anything, some of these events may not be. I'm not saying this about your event. I'm not saying about Vlad's event or my event. But for my event, actually, I am saying about this in my event. Maybe my event is not meant to be an event, a standalone event. Maybe my event is actually meant to be just a system implemented
Into another event.
you know, because it's like, dude, like, there's 160 people here. Give them a run for their money. That way, if they're going to pay 40, 50 bucks to actually do the event, they feel like it's worth it.
True.
Because
They get their money's worth.
they get their money's worth. Then they get this feedback, you know?
True.
Imagine that, like automated feedback.
Yeah. Fuck, that'd be like
You
next
know,
level.
it's like Oliver Lee, first throwdown, 5 flames.
Wow.
You know why? And then it's quickly ticked footwork. Draw,
Yeah.
You know, and then if you could actually have a talk with the judge who judged you in that moment in time, you'd be like, bruh, sick run, man. Just the way you did that little transition thingy, and then how you did the pot of beret with the right rock, but then this beat got disco-y, so you did a bit of a house jack, but then you utilized that into a sick drop head spin elbow freeze, and you happen to hit that crash cymbal, bruh. 5 flames. No one could fuck you. That if you were a crump up, if this was a crump session, bro, that's a killer. Imagine getting feedback like that. Then
It'll change up sort of like, I guess, how you can train afterwards as well.
yeah, that's the right pat on the back.
But then again, the way, if where I guess with burn circuit, or I guess the mentality you have behind it.
Mm.
I only see that working with breakers.
Yeah.
Breakers or crumpers, or even people like, let's say, that just want to go round after round, like myself, David, just to name a few. Oh, and Josh Kuhn as well, so she's someone like, oh, I guess he's a breaker now. But it's like that kind of dancer, they want to battle.
Yes.
You need to have someone who wants to battle. Like, if you're going to have someone who's like a Sunday driver, a Sunday battler, man, you're going to get smoked. You're not going to bother jumping in.
Yeah, but check this out. Let's say there's a dude who's the shark, the cipher shark, yeah? Because burn circuit is cipher based, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm just doing hypotheticals, yeah?
Hypotheticals.
This shark, he only picks his moments or her moments to pop in. Comes in, bang, 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 or just, or finished, yeah? 5 here, 5 there. But he's not going in every run. He's picking his moments, yeah? But then there's a dude, your Sunday cruiser, just jumps in every circle at coasting at 85% capacity, maybe 50% capacity, but it's just... let's give it a she, yeah? No, let's give it an E, yeah? Yeah, this trans is just killing it, yeah? But just on the smooth, yeah? And it just so happens every judge there's vibing it. She should be getting 3, or trans should be getting 3, E should be getting 3. Fuck, I've just confused myself.
Yeah, tran, E.
Yeah, right? Whatever tranny is getting, whatever our dancer, right?
Yeah.
Is actually getting 4s every time, consistently,
okay.
for the half-hour blocks. Then it comes down to score. Mr. Shark thinks he's got this in the bag, yeah?
But really?
He's got 200 points. But our sick, genderless dancer, boom,
400 or something.
205.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Just because consistently they were at it.
Yeah.
You see, this is so it's called burn circuit because at that time when I created, I wanted to push in Melbourne's culture, or what I knew was lacking in Australia, was this roast factor.
Yeah.
But I realized...
Like the idea of smoking
someone, yeah? But then, who says you can't burn someone with your style? That's a rocking mentality. Who wins in rocking is the dude with the better style. Not necessarily the better burns,
like
the
better
technique.
Like drop, or like the better like...
No, beat kills, whatever, musicality. No, it's the dude who's got the better style. So if you just happen to have that ability, that natural ability, and every judge is digging you for it, you could win just based on who you are, not what you do.
True. So then now it
and that's a whole nother ball game.
True.
And then let's...
Okay, I see how that
So,
would
I mean,
work,
but that's just a hypothetical.
No,
you know what I mean?
but you're right, because I mean, there was a prelim that I did in Sydney, right? And it was a cypher prelim. But it was like, what? They had it for an hour. And the DJ just played no matter what he wanted to play. But then there were... They said there were 3 judges, but there was actually 10 judges walking around.
That's
secret
dope.
Judges, right?
Sick.
So then what will happen is you jump in, no matter what circuit you're at, there's always going to be judges, no matter what. Those judges will then have to write down their preferences automatically, or give you a point. Like a point was just like, yep, like they deserve to be in top 16. And then they just tally up who is the most consistent. Right, so that was just
very smart.
So that not only forces you, as you said, like moments, but also the person that actually consistently wants to jump in, right? But showing up each time.
Yes.
So then I remember telling my friend, because I was like, "Oh, so who's judging?" He's like, "I was." I'm like, "Oh fuck, really?" He's like, "Yeah," and they showed me the list. And I was like, "The fuck, it's heaps of people." And then I remember, not to name this person, but that one of them, one of the dancers, I was like, "Hey, how come I didn't get in?" It's like, I threw down good rounds, but they're like, you didn't want it enough. You only threw it down like twice. We only saw you twice. Everyone else was like, and then someone dropped my name. It was like Oliver jumped in. Someone actually counted like more than 12 times in a cipher within the hour. And like, if you want it, you would keep jumping in. And yeah,
if you want it, you gotta get a dog eat dog world, man. You know,
because like you had to jump in, otherwise someone else would jump in. You're like, oh fuck, or you go, fuck it, this circle's too busy. We'll go to another one. Yeah.
And so, you know,
I get what you mean.
That's exactly it, man. I mean, look, like there's external factors, right? For example, bro, Dota players can win millions of dollars.
Fuck.
You know, Fortnite.
Like Fortnite, I mean, that kid won 3 mil, bro.
3 million, yeah. You know, but like
wrong industry, bro. We're in
right, exactly. But why can't our industry have that?
Have they?
Right? And so that's a whole nother a can of worms. We're not going to get into today because I don't think there's anyone qualified for that here in Australia because we don't get sponsorship here for shit. Yeah, no one wants. We got the fucking anus.
We have the funds yet.
Yeah, no, we
Not
don't.
yet.
We just the companies don't want to sponsor us because it's just there's no market for them here. But bro, you know, like Street Fighter comparatively is like 250K esports.
Crazy.
But just think if in dance you had that kind of level, right? Then you've got 10 secret judges doing this. It's like, yeah, Oliver deserves a slice of the pie because this dude threw down 69 times. You know, in the span of 3 hours. And you're trying to tell me what you think we're stupid, we're not gonna have eyes everywhere. You want me to publicly shame you? Like you've only jumped out 3 times and did your 3 best runs that you've done in the events this past 10 years. Same
Like, it was
runs.
good, but it was just
good,
like-
bro. Don't get me wrong, but what do you think this is? Like
Yeah.
a top 16 battle? This is about throwing down consistently.
Yeah.
You've just shown us that you've only got 3 runs. Do you? Or do you have
Yeah.
more? All right, then keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why it's like a different mentality. Because then when they explain it to him, that person, he's like, okay, I didn't see it in that light. But that's what I mean. It's like it takes a different type of dance to understand
Exactly.
that format. But yeah.
And bro, we've just not exposed it, but we've just told people what the fuck's going on behind the scenes, bro. So
Events 101.
Events 101, bro.
Part
Dude,
one of many.
this is again, yeah, even this is going to be one of many chats we're going to have, and I'm glad we had this conversation. Before we wrap it up, bro, like anything you want to drop, any shout outs?
Nah. I don't think so. Fuck, what else is happening?
Shout outs to mum and dad,
Yeah, shout out to my
missus,
mum, my dad, my missus.
the cockatiels in the garage.
Cockatiels in my garage for making too
Yeah.
much noise.
Yeah.
Actually, no, there's nothing else apart from Jam on Toast happening.
Yeah. Every Wednesday,
Fucking every Wednesday, come through 8:15ish, whatever time it is.
check them out on Facebook. Check out Cross Styles.
Styles.
How do you spell Cross Styles handle?
CROSS space STYLES.
Cross Styles, just straight Cross Styles with a space.
Check us out on Instagram as well.
Yep.
If not, watch out for an event maybe in December that we're gonna be running.
Nice.
And check out Battle Royale, which is the next event coming out for Vlad's event. Enter.
Enter.
Yeah. Cheers,
What up, bro? Thank you so much, man. We'll
for
chop it
having
up
me.
again soon.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright. Peace. I need to take a shit.
Fuck, I need to pee. That's dope. No, good chat.
Oh no. The thing crashed.
Bro, did it?
Yeah. Sorry, we got the audio. iPhone storage full.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Shit, so we may have just caught maybe before 30 minutes or 20 minutes.
We only got 6 minutes of that. That's alright, we got the audio, man.